January 4th, 1945, Flamierge, Belgium. Company B, 513th Parachute Infantry, pinned down. 2 German tanks advancing. The Bazooka team, dead. Weapon lying in snow 40 yards away. Staff Sergeant Isadore Jachman stood up, ran across open ground, machine gun fire everywhere, grabbed the bazooka, advanced on the tanks, fired. 1 tank stopped. Both tanks retreated. Company saved. Jachman killed. Here's the question. Why did 1 hit make both tanks back out? The answer is in late war desperation, and 1 man who wasn't even born American. M9A1 Bazooka, infantry anti-tank weapon, shaped charge warhead. On paper, it can penetrate Panzer IV frontal armor. In reality, you're still running at a cannon. The weapon fired a rocket. The rocket carried explosive. The explosive formed a jet that punched through steel, effective at close range, very close range. The closer you got, the better it worked. But closer also meant easier target. The weapon needed 2 men, gunner and loader. At Flamierge, both were killed. Artillery hit, but the weapon survived. Loaded, ready. Someone just had to reach it. December 14th, 1922, Berlin, Germany. Isaac Siegfried Jakimowicz was born into a country that would try to kill him. His father, Leib Jakimowicz. His mother, Leah Jakimowicz. Polish Jews who'd immigrated to Germany after World War I. They ran a small business in Berlin, sold groceries, made modest living. But they watched Germany deteriorate, post-war economic collapse, hyperinflation destroying savings, political extremism spreading, street violence daily, and everywhere, anti-Semitism. Jewish shops boycotted, Jewish children attacked, Jewish families harassed. Leib read the newspapers, saw the political movements, recognized the danger. Leib told Lotta, "We're leaving Germany." Isaac was 2 years old. The immigration process took months. Visa applications, medical examinations, quotas limiting Jewish immigration. They sold their business at a loss, packed what they could carry, said goodbye to family who stayed. 6 relatives, Leah's 2 sisters and their husbands, Leib's brother and his wife. "Come with us," Leib urged. "This will pass," they said. "Germany is our home." It wouldn't pass. The Jakimowicz family boarded a ship, Atlantic crossing, weeks at sea, crowded steerage, seasickness, fear. Ellis Island, New York. Immigration officer looked at their papers. Jakimowicz? Too long. Pick something else. This was the price of admission. Jachman, Leib said. The officer wrote it down. New names for new country. Leib became Leo. Leah became Lotta. Isaac became Isadore. They settled in Baltimore, Maryland. Blue-collar neighborhood. Row houses. Other immigrant families. Leo found work delivering newspapers. 4 a.m. start. 7 days a week. Low pay but steady. He saved. Eventually bought his own route. Small business owner again. Lotta raised the children. 3 total. Isadore, born in Berlin. Joe, born in Baltimore. Sylvia, the youngest. The Jachman home was small, cramped, 1 bathroom, but safe. Isadore grew up American. Public schools, baseball in the street, football in vacant lots. Baltimore City College High School. Good student, athletic. Graduated 1939, age 16. Enrolled University of Baltimore, physical education. Wanted to be a coach. After 1 year, money was tight. He left school, went to work for his father. Newspaper delivery. 3 a.m. wake-up, loading papers, driving routes. Honest work. But Europe dominated every headline. 1933, Hitler Chancellor. 1935, Nuremberg Laws. 1938, Kristallnacht. 1939, Poland invaded. The Jachmans followed every development because their family was still there. Letters came regularly through the 1930s. Updates from Leah's sisters, news from Leib's brother. Then letters came less frequently. Then they stopped. Leo and Lotta tried to help, applied for visas, sent money, made inquiries. But by 1939, borders were closed. The 6 relatives were trapped. Isadore understood. He was 19. He read the newspapers, heard the radio. Refugees told stories, concentration camps, forced labor, mass killings. His family was dying. December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. America entered the war. Isadore had a choice: wait for the draft or volunteer now, fight the regime murdering his relatives. November 1942, he walked into Army recruiting office, Baltimore. "I want to enlist." Signed the papers. Didn't tell his parents until after. That evening he came home in uniform. Lotta cried. Leo put his hand on his son's shoulder, said nothing, understood. Their son was going to fight the country of his birth, for the family they'd left behind. If this one matters to you, hit subscribe. Not for the algorithm, for the next Jachman we find in the file. Fort Benning, Georgia, Parachute School. The training was designed to break soldiers. Physical conditioning, brutal. Running miles daily, calisthenics until failure. Obstacle courses timed. Many candidates quit. Jachman didn't. Tower training first. 250-foot tower, hoisted up, released, practice landing, terror every time. Then actual jumps, 5 required. C-47 aircraft, 1,200 feet altitude. First jump, worst. Exit door, wind blast, parachute deployment shock, ground rushing up. Jachman landed hard, rolled, got up. 4 more jumps. He passed, earned jump wings, silver parachute badge. Assigned, 513th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 17th Airborne Division. The 17th was new, activated April 1943. Training continued for months. Weapons, tactics, unit cohesion. Jachman proved reliable. Promoted, private first class, corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant. By late 1944, squad leader. But the division had never deployed. They watched other airborne divisions fight. 82nd, Sicily, Italy, Normandy. 101st, Normandy, Holland. The 17th waited until December. December 16th, 1944, 0530 hours. Ardennes Forest, Belgium. German artillery opened fire. 80-mile front, thousands of guns. Then 3 German armies attacked. Over 200,000 soldiers, hundreds of tanks. Operation Wacht am Rhein, Hitler's last offensive. The attack surprised American forces. Units overrun, positions abandoned. Within 2 days, 40-mile penetration. The Bulge. December 23rd, the 17th Airborne received emergency orders. Deploy to Belgium, immediately. First combat. The division loaded onto trucks, convoyed north, through France into Belgium. The weather was brutal, coldest winter in decades, below 0 Fahrenheit, heavy snow. American soldiers were unprepared. Standard wool uniforms, few winter coats, inadequate gear. Frostbite became epidemic. Hands too cold to operate weapons, feet frozen in boots. December 25th, 1944, Christmas Day. The 17th Airborne entered combat zone. No Christmas dinner, no celebration, just orders. Assignment, 8th Corps, 3rd Army. Mission, attack north, push back German advances. Company B, 513th PIR moved into line. Staff Sergeant Jachman's first combat. The fighting began immediately. Forest combat, close range, limited visibility. German defenders everywhere. Machine guns in trees, snipers covering movement, mortars registered. The 17th Airborne advanced slowly, casualties daily. Company B lost men. Original squad members wounded, killed, evacuated with frostbite. Replacements arrived, straight from training, green, scared. Jachman trained them fast. How to move in combat, how to use cover, how to stay alive. Late December, continued operations, village assaults, patrol actions, defensive positions. Early January, German offensive failing, but Germans still fought hard. January 3, 1945. New orders for 513th PIR. Objective: Flamierge, Belgian village, German held. Attack scheduled, January 4th, morning. Jachman briefed his squad that evening. Another village assault. Germans would defend. It would cost. Standard operation. He didn't know it would cost him everything. Where did that bazooka come from? The bulge created equipment chaos. Units overrun. Depots bombed. Supply trucks ambushed. The 17th Airborne was new. Mixed equipment. Old and new weapons. Company B received 2 bazookas in late December. Train the teams quickly. Load rocket. Fire. Displace. German tanks hunted bazooka teams. Priority targets. At Flamierge, artillery found them first. Both men killed. 1 weapon destroyed. 1 weapon survived. Lying in the snow. January 4th, 1945. 0700 hours. Company B moved out. 3 rifle platoons. Weapons platoon. Company headquarters. Staff Sergeant Jachman's squad. 2nd platoon, left flank. The advance. Extended line formation. 10-yard spacing between men. Scouts forward. The terrain. Open farmland. Snow-covered fields. Stone walls providing occasional cover. Temperature. Below freezing. Visibility. Limited by morning fog. They moved carefully. Flamierge appeared ahead. Stone village. Maybe 30 buildings. Church steeple visible. Smoke from chimneys, but no movement. The company commander halted. Signaled. Scouts forward. 2 paratroopers moved out. Experienced men. Combat veterans. They used proper technique. Low crouch. Terrain for cover. Moving in bounds. 100 meters to village edge. They paused. Observed. Still quiet. 1 scout signaled. Moving forward. He took 3 steps. Machine gun fire erupted. MG-42. Distinctive sound. 900 rounds per minute. Both scouts went down. Immediate. Company B reacted. All weapons returned fire. M1 rifles. BARs. Machine guns. Suppressive fire on German positions. The company commander ordered, "2nd platoon, advance right. 3rd platoon, advance left." Both platoons moved forward, 30 meters. German mortars opened. 81mm rounds. Pre-registered targets. The rounds landed exactly where infantry would maneuver. 3 explosions bracketed 2nd platoon. Men hit. "Take cover!" Everyone dove. Stone walls, depressions, anywhere. Then German artillery. 105mm guns, screaming in. Airburst. Shrapnel raining down. More casualties. 3rd platoon tried flanking left. 2nd machine gun position opened up. Interlocking fields of fire. Any movement, immediate response. Company B was pinned. The company commander assessed. Company spread 200 meters. All elements pinned. Casualties mounting. 8 wounded. 3 killed. Medics working under fire. He called for support. Fire mission. Flamierge. Coordinates follow. American mortars responded. 81mm rounds impacting German positions. But German fire continued. They were dug in, protected, disciplined. Staff Sergeant Jachman's squad behind stone wall. Good position. 2 feet of solid stone. Protected from direct fire, but static. Jachman observed. His squad. 9 men, all present. Position. Good cover. Can't maneuver. Company situation. Deteriorating. Time. 0730 hours. 30 minutes engaged. No progress. Then he heard it. Vehicle engines. Diesel. Heavy. Multiple. From the village. Tanks. 2 Panzer IVs emerged. German medium tanks. Behind them, German infantry. Standard combined arms. Tanks suppress. Infantry follows. Infantry clears. Against dug-in infantry with anti-tank weapons. Risky. Against pinned infantry without. Devastating. Company B had 2 bazooka teams. Past tense. Earlier, both teams moving with headquarters. German artillery caught them. 1 shell. Direct hit. 4 men killed. 1st weapon destroyed. 2nd weapon thrown clear. Now lying in snow. 40 yards forward. between Company B and advancing tanks. The company commander saw it. 2 tanks. No way to stop them. Prepare to withdraw! But withdrawal under fire with tanks. Disaster. Jachman saw the bazooka, saw the tanks. 50 meters. Getting closer. The math was simple. Someone gets that weapon, company survives. Nobody gets it. Everyone dies. He looked at his squad. Young faces. Scared. First real combat for most. Then at the tanks. Swastikas on hulls. Same regime that murdered his family. Staff Sergeant Isadore Jachman stood up. Why would tanks attack without infantry clearing anti-tank weapons first? January 1945. German situation. Desperate. Fuel low. Time pressure. Standard coordination took time they didn't have, so they improvised. Tank shock. Overwhelm fast. It worked against units without bazookas. Company B had bazookas, until they didn't. Jachman saw it clearly. The bazooka was there. Someone had to use it. His squad sergeant. That's suicide. Jachman looked at the tanks, then at his squad. Young men. First combat. He understood 3 things. The weapon can stop tanks. 30 seconds until tanks reach firing range. 6 family members dead in Holocaust. He stood up. Why did Jachman run instead of ordering someone else? He was squad leader. He could have sent someone. But he was born in Berlin. His family fled Nazis. 6 relatives dying in camps. For him, this wasn't just tactics. It was personal. His squad sergeant grabbed his arm. Sarge, that's suicide. Jachman looked at him. Sitting here is suicide. He pulled free. Keep the men here. Then he was running. Full sprint across open ground. The German machine gunners saw him immediately. Multiple MG-42 positions. Fire opened. Tracer rounds visible in daylight. Red streaks converging. Bullets impacted snow around Jachman. Geysers of white. He didn't slow. 5 yards. 10 yards. The tank machine gunners saw him. Both Panzer IVs had coaxial MG-34s. Hull-mounted guns. 4 machine guns total. All targeting 1 man. The volume increased. 15 yards. A bullet caught his sleeve. Tore fabric. He kept running. 20 yards. From American positions, paratroopers watched. Some stopped breathing. 1 man sprinting across killing ground. The fire seemed impossible to survive. 25 yards. Jachman was in the center now, equidistant from both sides. No cover anywhere. The tank commanders coordinated. Lead tank. Target the runner. Second tank. Support. More fire. But Jachman's movement made him difficult. Running. Not straight. Slight variations. Instinctive. 30 yards. He could see the bazooka clearly. M9A1. Lying where crew fell. 35 yards. Almost there. Machine gun fire churning snow around the weapon. Constant impacts. But weapon intact. 40 yards. He reached it. Didn't stop. Grabbed it in continuous motion. Shouldered it. Checked instantly. Rocket secure. Wire connected. Safety off. Ready. The tanks. Less than 50 meters. Still advancing. Still firing. Standard procedure. Find cover. Fire from protection. Immediately displace. Never fire exposed. Jachman looked at the situation. Behind. American positions. Run back. Tanks overrun them. Here. No cover. 40 meters to tanks. Penetration. Uncertain. Closer. Better penetration. 20 meters. Certain. The math was clear. Get closer. Jachman started walking. Not running. Walking. Deliberately. Toward 2 tanks shooting at him. The Medal of Honor citation would use 1 word. Advanced. Not fired and withdrew. Not found cover. Advanced. The tank commanders couldn't process it. American soldier. Bazooka. Walking toward them. Not retreating. Advancing. They increased fire. Every weapon. Main guns wouldn't depress enough at this range. But machine guns could. All firing. Jachman kept walking. Why? Ballistics. 40 meters. Penetration uncertain. 30 meters. Better. 20 meters. Certain. For a man who'd lost 6 family to Nazis, uncertain wasn't acceptable. He needed certain. Each step improved mathematics. 35 meters. 30 meters. Machine gunners firing continuous bursts. Bullets everywhere. Some so close he felt pressure wave. None hit. Yet. 25 meters. 20 meters. Jachman stopped. Lead Panzer IV directly ahead. Close enough to see tank commander. Close enough to see driver's slit. Close enough to see 75mm barrel. The tank fired. Main gun. Point blank. Shell passed within feet. Impacted behind him. Explosion. Snow. Earth. Jachman didn't flinch. He aimed M9A1 at frontal glacis, center mass. His finger found trigger. Tank's coaxial machine gun firing, directly at him. Jachman fired the bazooka. 2 explosions, almost simultaneous. The Panzer IV's main gun, the bazooka rocket, both fired at the same instant. The tank shell missed. The rocket didn't. Direct hit. Lead Panzer IV frontal glacis. The shape charge detonated. Inside the warhead, explosive, collapsed copper liner. Formed hypersonic jet. Temperature, over 4,000 degrees. Velocity, 25,000 feet per second. The jet hit armor. 80 millimeters of hardened steel. Kinetic energy and heat overcame material. The armor didn't dent. It melted, tore, penetrated. Inside the tank. Driver saw flash through vision slit. Gunner heard metal tearing. Loader felt heat. Jet fragmented as it penetrated. Molten metal sprayed crew compartment, spalling from inner armor. Driver was hit. Screamed. Fire broke out. Tank commander, "Bail out!" Hatches opened. Crew evacuated. Tank stopped. Smoke pouring from engine and hatches. Disabled. From 2nd Panzer IV, commander watched lead tank die. His assessment: lead tank disabled. Anti-tank weapons active. Infantry without armor support. Vulnerable. By late 1944, German tank crews were cautious. They couldn't replace armor. Every loss was critical. Fuel scarce. Trained crews scarce. Replacement vehicles non-existent. A bazooka hit didn't just damage a tank, it confirmed anti-tank weapons were active. In that moment, pulling back was survival, not cowardice. Math. Continue alone? Risk losing both tanks? Or withdraw? Preserve one tank. Reassess with infantry support. The commander ordered, "Driver, reverse!" Second tank began pulling back. Without armor support, German infantry couldn't advance. Anti-tank weapons meant severe casualties. German company commander watched armor retreat, ordered infantry to pull back. The entire attack disrupted by one bazooka shot from one sergeant, who was still standing exposed. German machine gunners recognized him, the American who stopped their attack. They concentrated fire, multiple MG-42s. Staff Sergeant Jachman had no cover. He'd advanced toward tanks, now stood 20 meters in front of American lines, completely exposed. Machine gun fire hit him, multiple rounds, chest, abdomen. He fell. 3 American paratroopers ran forward. Across same ground Jachman crossed. German fire lighter now. Tanks retreating. Infantry pulling back. They reached him. 1 provided security. 2 grabbed Jachman, dragged him back. Medics were already moving. They reached him behind stone wall. Doc Peterson started working. Multiple gunshot wounds, severe bleeding, pressure bandages, plasma, morphine. Other medics helped, but wounds too severe, blood loss too great. Staff Sergeant Isadore Jachman died approximately 3 minutes after being hit. Doc Peterson checked his watch. 07:48 hours. January 4th, 1945. Jachman had been in combat for 10 days. Age, 22. The German tanks were visible in distance, retreating. Company B took defensive positions, but they were alive. All because one man with one weapon, who understood shaped charge ballistics and mathematics of sacrifice. Why did both tanks retreat after only one was hit? Not doctrine, not procedure, reality. Late war German crews knew tanks were irreplaceable, fuel was scarce, trained crews were scarce. One hit signaled danger. Pulling back wasn't cowardice, it was math. Lose both tanks trying to advance, or preserve one and reassess? They chose survival. While Jachman fought, another story was ending. Fort Benning, jump tower. He learns to fall without fear. Europe, night trains, doors sealed, names erased. Belgium, Snowfield, 1 bazooka in the open. Poland, camps, 6 relatives, already dead. He never got the letter. He only got the chance. When he ran across that ground, he was fighting for them, for murdered family, for every victim. The bazooka penetrated armor. Revenge penetrates deeper. Company B secured Flamierge. Commander wrote recommendation, Medal of Honor. Initially awarded Distinguished Service Cross. Years later, neighbor heard the story. Wrote to Senator. Upgraded to Medal of Honor. June 1950. Lieutenant General Giroux presented medal to Jachman's parents, 5 years after their son died. Flamierge built statue. Unknown American soldier. 1970s. Army research identified him. Name added. Maryland Armory named after him. One of 3 Jewish Americans to receive Medal of Honor in World War II. All killed in action. All volunteers. All fought the regime murdering their people. The technical facts. Weapon. M9A1 bazooka. 2.36-inch rocket launcher. Targets. 2 Panzer IV medium tanks. Range. Approximately 20 meters. Result. 1 tank disabled. Both withdrew. Operator survival. Killed in action. Tactical outcome. Company B saved from annihilation. The human facts. Name. Isadore Siegfried Jachman. Born. Berlin, Germany, December 14, 1922. Immigrated. Age 2. To Baltimore, Maryland. Enlisted. November 1942. Age 19. Volunteered. Unit. Company B, 513th Parachute Infantry, 17th Airborne. First combat. December 25, 1944. Total combat time, 10 days. Died, January 4, 1945, age 22. The complete record. Born in the country he fought against. His parents fled Germany in 1924, changed their names at Ellis Island, built a life in Baltimore. 6 family members stayed behind, aunts and uncles, Poland and Germany. They were murdered in concentration camps. While Isadore trained to jump from aircraft, while he learned to fight, while he deployed to Europe, his family died in gas chambers. He never received the letter. He never knew for certain, but he knew enough. December 1941, Pearl Harbor. November 1942, he volunteered. Not drafted, volunteered. Requested paratroopers, elite unit, highest casualties, because they fought in Europe, against Nazis. He trained for 2 years. December 1944, first combat. 10 days later, dead. In those 10 days, he led his squad through forest combat. He trained replacements. He survived artillery. He survived machine gun fire. He survived mortars, until January 4th, when 2 German tanks appeared, and he made a choice. Not because he was braver than others, not because he wanted to die, because he understood something his squad mates didn't. He was fighting for 6 people who couldn't fight back, 6 relatives he never met, who died while he was learning to be a soldier. When he stood up and ran across that ground, he wasn't just saving Company B, he was finishing what his parents started in 1924, refusing to let Nazis win. The bazooka could penetrate armor, but some things penetrate deeper. The statue stands in Flamierge today. The villagers built it after the war. Unknown American soldier. For decades, they didn't know his name, just that an American paratrooper had charged German tanks, had stopped them, had died doing it, had saved their village. In the 1970s, U.S. Army researchers cross-referenced records, Medal of Honor citations, unit records, action locations. They found the match. Flamierge, January 4, 1945. Company B, 513 PIR. Tank attack stopped. Staff Sergeant Isadore S. Jachman. They contacted the village, added his name to the statue. In Maryland, an armory bears his name. Staff Sergeant Isadore Jachman Armory, Owings Mills, Maryland. Soldiers train there. Most don't know the full story. They know Medal of Honor. They know died in combat. But they don't know he was born in Germany. He fled Nazis as a child. He lost 6 family to Holocaust. He volunteered to fight. He charged 2 tanks alone. The Medal of Honor citation preserves the action. The facts are documented, but some things aren't in citations. Some soldiers fight for duty, some for their country, some for the soldier beside them, all honorable. Jachman fought for 6 people in photographs, relatives he never met, who couldn't escape, who couldn't fight, who died in camps, while he learned to be a paratrooper. When he grabbed that bazooka, he was fighting for them. When he walked toward those tanks, he was fighting for them. When he fired that shot, he was fighting for them. The weapon showed how it was possible. The tactics explained when it happened. The man showed why it mattered. Staff Sergeant Isadore S. Jachman. Born, Berlin. Raised, Baltimore. Died, Flamierge. One man, one bazooka, 2 tanks, 180 men saved. One question answered.